contract from, that's gonna, the court is gonna addend to the other contract. I understand that I have an obligation to pay you,
Yeah.
because you worked. The question was, how much am I supposed to get? So this is a court, this is adding, this is a promise and a satisfaction. I promise to pay you this amount, that's what the check is. It's not money, it's a check. So I'm promising you to pay you, because the money better be in the account to pay this person. Right? So I'm promising you, I'm giving you this piece of paper which states that you're entitled to this amount of money. And I promise you that I'm giving you this in full satisfaction for the job that you did. But my obligation to pay you for the promise that you did, that you performed, performance, all right? Now, when the employee took the check and cashed it, there's another accord. If the accord is, I agree and I acknowledge that this is a,
Acceptable.
the employee's promise to take the check is a full payment for employee's promise to pay the stated amount. Okay? You're taking the check, promise to take the check as full payment. That's the important part. When the guy wrote full payment in full and you accepted it, you're accepting that this is in full payment of what you owe. The only way you can get around is by declaring, saying, under protest. All right? Most people would say that the best thing would be for you not to cash the check, not to cash it, and make an argument that it's not in full payment. But courts also understand that people work, people have bills, people rely on a certain amount of money. It is some money. And so what are you saying? Well, look, I have bills to pay. I was relying on this check to pay this bill, this bill, this bill. It was important. If I didn't, then I'd breach my obligation to these three.
I had
What?
an incident where they gave me the same check from last week, and if I would have cashed it, or it would have looked like I was doing fraud or
right.
doing something, and I had a contract with a store, so it would have been big issue. So I would have lost my contract with the store and everything. I just left it. I didn't cash it. I told
Well,
them.
how were they able to give you the same check? What did they do?
It was like a whole mess up.
Was it like, I don't want to say a personal check, but was it one of those checks that
Yeah,
was
it's
from?
personal. It's like personal checks. Yeah, and they end up giving me this. I only know this because of the same numbers. The visual memory.
Well, that was good. It's good that you recognize that was same numbers.
Yeah.
Most people don't look at the check number and they just cash it. They're like,
Yeah.
That was very, very good. Okay.
So now I understand that now.
Okay. Release. Release is the intentional relinquishment of a right.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes. Bless you.
The
Bless you.
according to the
Satisfaction.
satisfaction. So if the employer hand me over give me the check, and then I don't accept it, and I sign protest, it means that it's unsatisfaction, right?
That's not satisfaction because you're not satisfied.
Yeah, okay.
Your claim has been satisfied. You haven't been paid.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the satisfaction, that's why you're saying there's a breach.
Uh-huh.
There's a breach in the contract.
Yeah.
You're going to the lawyer saying, I want to file a complaint against this guy. Someone's complaint because I did work and I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And the person, their argument is going to be, well, this is termination due. I gave him the check. Their argument is, no, that's not the agreed upon amount of money.
Okay.
Okay? All right. In a release, Abner hires Rachel to work for him as an assistant manager for 1 year. After 6 months, Abner wrongfully fires Rachel. Rachel may release her right to recover under the contract, thus terminating Abner's duty. All right. The termination event may be unilateral, this is a release. A release is the intentional relinquishment of a right. Mutual release terminates both parties' duty to perform. After a release, the party who released the other cannot successfully assert that the other has breached his or her duty. That duty to perform has been terminated. The termination event may occur by operational law. A statute of limitation provides for a specific period of time within which a cause of action may be brought. Under the law, statute of limitations, you have certain amount of time to bring a lawsuit against the other party for a breach of contract. All right? Under the New York State Civil Procedure Laws and Reviews, you'll be taking that in the tort class. It specifies exactly what the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations are different based upon what type of lawsuit you're going, right? They also have on the UCC, they have a listing of what is and what is not. So if the statute says you have 6 months after breach to file a lawsuit, then you have 6 months. If you don't file within it, 6 months in a day, some places are very, very strict. 6 months in a day, guess what? You lose. That's why as a paralegal, you gotta be very, very careful about dates. Make sure that things are filed. You know, client comes in and you have to look up, okay, this is a contract. All right, one of the things that you wanna look up is statute of limitations. How long do we have to file this case? And set up bells and whistles so that it goes off and letting you know, yo, boss, that Jones case, that case that we filed, we have to start an action. We have until tomorrow to start this action. You better file this papers. Right? Otherwise, you're gonna be up some creek without verbal power. Okay, the release, again, does everyone understand the release? Release is the party that's injured is releasing the obligation of the other party. In this situation, Abner hires Rachel to work for him as an assistant manager for 1 year. So there's a contract for work for 1 year. After 6 months, Abner wrongfully fires Rachel. Rachel may release her right to recover under the contract, thus terminating Abner's duty. That's a release. It is the party that's harmed is releasing the obligation, releasing that duty. Says I don't, why Rachel would want to release Abner, who wrongfully fired her, is something else. But that's the scenario we're given. So she says, you know what? Yeah, look, I got a job offer in